A couple of years ago, in regards to this O.J. Simpson thing, if you would have asked me, did he do it, I would have answered with a resounding, hell yeah, he did it. But after hearing an interview with Judge Joe Brown, who was an actual judge, not just one on TV, and very credible, he said a lot of things over the years that I fact-checked and found to be true. But after he said that, I went on my own fact-checking campaign and found that there was no way OJ should have even been charged. Check this out, and you tell me what you think.
O.J. Simpson does not have time to slaughter his wife, be surprised by a guy half his age, stab that guy a bunch of times by himself, and get away with everything, get rid of the weapons and the bloody clothing and whatever else had blood on it.
Who can remember the O.J. Simpson case? It was on our TV More Than Friends sitcom reruns. But the question inquiring minds want to know is, who committed the murders of Nicole and Ron? I mean, we already know moms talked to Nicole. At the time they claimed she was being stabbed.
That his daughter, Nicole Brown Simpson, was last known to be alive at 11 o'clock that evening talking to her mother.
There are records that show that Nicole Brown Simpson called her mom at or about 11 p.m. on the night she was murdered.
What about serial killer Glenn Rogers? Just 6 weeks after Nicole and Ron's death, Glenn was arrested for 70 murders. He was close to the house and even said this about her.
They got money, they're well off, and I'm taking her down.
Whether he was guilty or innocent, as a matter of fact, the evidence was overwhelming that he was framed. That is, the crucial piece of evidence, the sock, which had his blood and the blood of one of the victims on it, was tampered with. The blood was poured from test tubes, didn't come from O.J. Simpson's body directly. It came from test tubes, and the test tubes contained a chemical that's not found in the human body, and that chemical was found in the sock. So we were able to prove conclusively that the police had tampered with it. And I was sitting literally just feet away from him when he tried on the glove. And as you can see, when he walked up to the jurors, he showed them the glove and he said, "It's too small." And that was a very important piece of evidence because it permitted him not to take the witness stand. He didn't have to take the witness stand because essentially he had already testified in front of the jury and was not subject to cross-examination.
Did O.J. Simpson get away with murder?
No, I looked at all the evidence they had and talked to the experts. They never should have brought the charge against him. And 4 of the chief detectives that were involved in that O.J. case wound up doing time in California for planting evidence. And as a matter of fact, if you saw the entire trial, there are several instances where evidence was planted and it's recorded on tape. The main reason the American public thinks she got away with something is because there was a sleaze known as Nancy Grace who's still around, and that was her first reporting thing. And she hyped that and put a lot of falsity out there, and the American public believed it because that was the only person they were hearing. The fatal injury was a stab by a left-handed person. O.J. was right-handed, and it did that damage. There were no peripheral strikes. The footprints in the blood showed that somebody with a size 9 shoe, 9.5 shoe, and somebody with a size 9 and somebody with a 10.5 were there on the scene and did it. One of my late brothers actually was the expert the state was going to call until he refuted it. The glove man I know personally, the name is Richard Zuckerwar. He took a tracing of everybody's hand. It was a size large glove that fit Furman. And O.J. had a 2XL, which was way too big. Johnny Cochran knew that. So if it does not fit, you must acquit. And you can see Furman actually plant the bloody socks on a video that the jury saw that Nancy Grace refused to talk about. The DNA evidence that condemned them, she said, if you saw what went on, and I recorded all of it and looked at it, the expert said, this doesn't exclude 96,000 people in the L.A. area, and the person that donated this is from the Northeast Mediterranean,